The air inside the arena crackled with energy as the crowd, a diverse mix of species from across the galaxy, roared in anticipation. At the center of the arena, a new and terrifying force had emerged, a creature unlike anything seen before, standing tall and ferocious. It was the Apex Beast, a terrifying combination of power and intelligence that had been unleashed on the world. Her eyes, burning with the intensity of a predator, scanned the arena, and her muscular frame rippled as she moved. Her name was NORA. NORA was no ordinary beast. At nearly 9 feet tall, her body was a work of genetic perfection, engineered for strength, speed, and agility. Her fur shimmered in the arena lights, and her sharp claws scraped the floor as she prowled, each step sending vibrations through the ground. She was the creation of a secretive experiment, designed to be the perfect apex predator, capable of dominating any opponent. But this time, there was something more to her presence. Alongside her, a tiny cub, barely 4 months old, stood ready to follow her lead. In the opposite corner of the arena stood the challenger Zorath, the last of his kind, a fierce warrior. He had been bred for one purpose: to defeat whatever threat came his way. His eyes glinted with arrogance as he sized up the apex beast, a confident sneer curling on his lips. His body was covered in the battle scars of 1,000 fights. But today he seemed unsure. After all, how could one prepare for the unknown? "Today you face the ultimate challenge," Zoroth's translator boomed, his voice dripping with venom. "My creature has slain countless foes, and yet it will show no mercy to you. I will break you, and when you fall, I will stand over your carcass as the true ruler of this world." What? A tiny bundle of energy growled softly in response, as though ready to leap into the fray, but NORA, the true apex predator, stood still. Her eyes locked on Zoroth. She seemed unbothered, even unimpressed. She was used to being the one who dominated, not the one who was threatened. Zoroth's taunt hung in the air for a moment before he signaled to his beast, and with a swift motion, the creature lunged forward, its massive limbs tearing through the sand. Its claws scraped the ground, sending sparks flying as it closed the distance between itself and NORA. The crowd watched in silence, waiting for the inevitable clash, but NORA remained motionless, her eyes focused, calculating. She waited then. In a split second, the ground shook as a loud, ear-piercing whistle cut through the arena. It was sharp, commanding a signal that everyone had been waiting for. Zoroth's creature froze. It had heard that sound before, and it knew what it meant. But it was too late. Through the dust and debris, a rumbling growl echoed, shaking the arena walls. The massive form of NORA's companion, a creature even more imposing than the apex beast herself, burst through the shattered walls at the far end of the arena. This was no mere beast. This was a genetically engineered monster of pure power, an apex predator in its own right. The creature was larger, broader, and fiercer than anything Zoroth's species had ever encountered, with eyes like burning coals and a growl that sent chills down the spine. It locked onto Zoroth's creature, instantly making it its target. NORA's cub, sensing the danger, took a step back, its eyes wide with curiosity, unsure of what was about to happen. "Meet my companion." NORA's voice was a low growl, her words carrying over the arena. "This is not just a pet. This is a warrior. My warrior." The monstrous creature, a fusion of a tiger and genetically enhanced soldier, bounded forward. With one swift motion, it was upon Zoroth's creature, slamming it to the ground with the force of 1,000 storms. Its claws dug into the beast's body, and with a single swipe, it severed the creature's spine, the crack reverberating through the arena like thunder. Zoroth's eyes widened in disbelief. No, this can't be. But NORA wasn't done. She whistled again, and her cub darted forward. Its tiny paws a blur of motion, it leaped onto the fallen creature, snapping its jaws shut around the beast's throat, finishing what NORA's companion had started in a matter of seconds. The arena fell silent. Nora stood over the remains of Zorith's creature, her eyes glowing with pride. Her cub looked up at her, a soft purr vibrating through its tiny body as it sat beside her. The massive predator, still panting from its victory, nuzzled Nora in affection. Humans didn't create us to be apex predators. Nora's voice echoed across the arena, calm and commanding. We were created to be survivors. And if we need monsters to help us survive, we'll bring them with us. She looked up at Zoroth, whose expression had gone pale with shock and fear. The realization hit him all at once. We didn't need to fight alone, Nora continued. We had family. And now you've learned what happens when you face a family who will fight for each other, no matter the cost. Her whistle rang out again, sharp and final. Release the captives. Return what was taken from us, or face the consequences. Zoreth, frozen in fear, slowly raised his hands in surrender. His eyes never left Nora or her formidable companion. He knew that if he didn't comply, his life would end in the same manner as his creatures, swift, decisive, and without mercy. As the arena emptied and the crowd erupted in cheers, Nora turned to her cub, her heart swelling with pride. The future, it seemed, was theirs. Asterisk and remember, if you want to see more epic moments like this, don't forget to subscribe to Neon Cub Tales for more thrilling adventures. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this battle, and share it with your friends. Let's spread the roar. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more epic stories from the wild. See you in the next one.